When someone passes away, they live on in the memories of those left behind by living honorable lives and by raising Lucia and Chloe, who carry Lane's genes. We pay the greatest tribute to the departed. That's what Mom told me. Yeah, thank you. I'll do my best. Even though Chloe and Lucia are just in middle school, to have lost Lane, the person who helped me recover was Mom, who lives with me. It might sound like Mom is this calm and wise person, but hey, what's this bitter paste? Mom, you're making weird health foods again. I grated the entire clementine, skin and all. The skin has nutrients, so eat it all up. What? Try it yourself. Chloe, fix your bed hair. Never mind that. Eat this, Chloe. Your bed hair is cute. Our typically noisy mornings are happening again today in this home. My name is Caitlin. I'm 44 years old. I lost my husband Lane, who was 2 years my senior, 2 years ago. A health checkup revealed a disease, and things went downhill fast after that. Mom, who was already living with me, saved me from my grief. Her comforting words soaked into me, perhaps because she had already lost Dad. Thanks to her, I've been able to recover this quickly. Mom moved in after Dad passed away. Lane had suggested that she live with us, saying it would be lonely to live alone. Since the kids were grown, we had a good system. Mom handled the housework. I worked part-time and Lane was a full-time employee. Everything was going well until then. Losing Lane suddenly was unimaginable. He was a kind and sincere husband. I had no complaints about him, but there was an issue. It was a concern I had even before Lane passed away. And after his passing, that concern grew even larger. The root of the problem is Lane's sister Neva. Neva is a home economics teacher. Her husband is an older social studies teacher and they have a daughter and a son. What a perfect family! But the competition from this perfect sister was incredibly intense.
I love my job as a teacher. It gives my life purpose, but you're just a part-timer. You'll never know the joy of a fulfilling career. Relying on Lane for income, huh? And your mother handles the housework? I can't even begin to relate to your situation. I'm juggling with both work and family perfectly.
Those condescending words stung, but they were directed at me, so I took it. Yet it didn't stop at me. When I grow up, I want to work at Hasbro because I like Sparky, my child declared. The next time we saw Neva and her family, her kid chimed in, I want to work at Disney. Walt Disney was... Neva cut in, Disney is a much bigger company than Hasbro, you know. When my mom sewed a beautiful outfit for my child's graduation, Neva retorted, my kids wear Gymboree. We're all about the brand. You can't even afford that, can you? Homemade? That's laughable. Brand name quality is a different league. Every chance she got, Neva made it a competition, and today, she took it to the max. How about you move out of this town? She texted via WhatsApp. I couldn't believe my eyes. Why is your mother living in my younger brother's inherited house? We need to talk about this. I'll come over. What? Trembling, I showed the message to my mom, and there was more. I'm on my lunch break now, so it will have to be after my overtime. Unlike part-timers, I have extra hours, she texted. For now, I tried to think calmly about how to handle Neva's unexpected gripes. Why should we move? We can't just... Don't worry, my mom interrupted. If you're this stressed, maybe you're low on vitamin C? Try some grated clementines. Not the time for clementines, Mom. Struggling to put aside the clementine discussion, I spent 4 agonizing hours thinking before Neva arrived. What to do? I can't come up with a good idea. I couldn't think of anything other than I don't want to move. Meanwhile, my mom was busy filling a storage container with a new clementine pasta recipe. She wasn't even thinking about the situation. If I don't do something, we're in trouble. I was sweating buckets, unaware at the time that My mom's hand was subtly trembling with anger. I would later find out that. But for now, Neva arrived just before 8 p.m.
So here's the thing.
Neva began as she sat at the table.
My mom is getting weaker, so she can't live alone anymore. We're thinking of moving her in with us, so we're going to close out both my mom's apartment and our own place and move here. Look, my younger brother's passing is the reason my mom got weak in the first place. Isn't it all caused by things that happened in your family? My mom gave birth to my younger brother who left this inheritance behind. Legally or not, doesn't human decency suggest that this house should go to my mom? It's odd, isn't it? It's strange enough that you're living off my younger brother's inheritance, but it's even stranger that your mother lives here too. I am talking about what's morally right.
What? Add my biological mom to our family and not look for a new home? Why should we give up our home? Is it our fault that your mom is getting weak? Living in my husband's family home goes against human decency. That's some logic. As I was dumbfounded by Neva's bizarre reasoning, I heard a voice say, "What kind of reasoning is that?" Turning around, there stood my mom, defiantly holding a bowl overflowing with clementine pasta. She slammed the bowl down on the table between me and Neva. "Maybe you're not getting enough vitamin C in that crazy head of yours," my mom declared, thrusting a spoon into the mound. The pile of clementine pasta collapsed, splattering onto the table. Neva let out a small gasp. The tension was anything but normal, and I reflexively tried to stop my mom. "Mom," but she wouldn't be silenced. "I have been wanting to say this for a while. You keep saying awful things to my daughter. And what was that about in the WhatsApp messages today? I have been on the verge of exploding since you got here." "Oh, Mother." "So what if you are a teacher? The one who fell for our daughter and proposed in the first place was your younger brother." "Mother." "If you're going to keep calling her a part-timer, then go say it directly to your younger brother's grave. Criticizing his lack of judgment." "Mom, would you just shut up for a moment? I have something to say." My words, directed intermittently at Mom, were interrupted as soon as they left my lips. Mom just wouldn't stop talking. "I get it. Your mother-in-law got sick because she lost her son. I have sympathy for her. When my husband passed away, I was devastated too. But why are you asking my daughter to move out of the home she cherishes? If my presence is the issue, I'll move into your house instead. Then you will have two people, one being your younger brother's mother-in-law to take care of. You would get even more attention that way, wouldn't you? And hey, why not invite Mariko from down the street? She's not getting along with her daughter-in-law either. We could all live in your house." "Who the heck is Mariko?" Both Neva and I are stunned by the mention of a name we have never heard before. "And aren't you just high on your perfect shelf? You pretend to be all about your job, but you have been neglecting your family. Take a look at your kid's latest school report. She's been absent a lot. I bet you don't even know because you leave for work before she heads to middle school. Your older daughter isn't even attending middle school, let alone any tutoring centers. I have seen her coming out of the arcade downtown. When I asked her about lunch money, she said she takes it from your wallet. How can you say you're responsible at work when you can't even keep track of your own wallet?" I'm shocked that Neva's daughter isn't attending middle school, a fact I wasn't aware of. But even more shocking is that Neva, her mother, didn't know. Even more unbelievable is that Mom knows all this. However, my surprise is likely dwarfed by Neva's own disbelief. Neva seems lost for words. Kids don't have to go to middle school, you know. It's just one part of society. Maybe she would have been happier at another school. She even opened up about why she stopped going. Have you ever listened to what your children have to say? Neva turns bright red. It's written all over her face. Why does she have to listen to this condescending woman? And with that look, she blurts out what everyone was thinking. "I haven't.
But do you really have to point that out? I thought she was doing fine because she didn't say anything. So let me ask you, do you think you could do better if you were in my shoes? Balancing work and spending the little time I have at home with my children? I heard from my younger brother that you just sew in your spare time.
Oh, I probably couldn't. Mom easily admits she couldn't do what Neva does. Neva visibly recoils, taken aback by the straightforward response. I tried my best to create an environment at home where we could talk about anything. In return, she opened up to me. You, on the other hand, are so obsessed with keeping up appearances. You made her say she wanted to work at Disney, a place she doesn't even want to be at. You even made her memorize quotes from the founder. You know why she refused to go to school? Because she thought if things keep going like this, I'll end up at a worse high school than Chloe. What did you say when you saw her test scores? She's going to a middle school with a lower rank than Chloe. Are you trying to shame me? Then you muttered something like, I can't rely on her anymore. If she's going to lose, I have to find a way to get them out of the neighborhood before high school entrance exams. I got it now. I heard both sides, yours and hers, and I'm convinced your daughter isn't your accessory. She's trying to live up to your expectations. But all you see are the grades. You don't offer advice or say, I'm here watching over you. All you care about is your image. She reached her limit. She can't see a future no matter how hard she tries. What's worse, she has a parent willing to harm other families just because she can't achieve. Do you think there's a middle school student who wouldn't break under those conditions? That's why she couldn't go to middle school or the tutoring center anymore. I felt like crying too. Her kid is just too pitiable. But Neva always had too much pride.
You really are a nag using information about my child's refusal to go to school to threaten me? Who do you think you are?
Then, taking a deep breath, my sister-in-law screamed,
You old bat!
Ding dong! Ah, a visitor! In this tense atmosphere, I let out a goofy voice. It's not just a visitor. Come on in! Mom picks up a spoon, still dipped in the clementine pasta, then eats a bitter spoonful herself. She looks like an artisan deep in thought, pipe in mouth. Meanwhile, I head to the front door. I open it. Good evening. What? Standing at the entrance is Neva's husband. Neva is a bit older than me, and her husband had a receding hairline. Your mother invited me. May I come in? Sure. Still not understanding the situation, I led Neva's husband into the living room. Sorry about this, I borrowed your phone book and called him for the 4 hours until this woman arrived. I was worried about what you would do, Mom says, brushing aside the matter of the phone book. Well, then, Mom directs me to take a seat and offers the chair next to her to Neva's husband. Once seated, she takes control again. Say what you just told me, but here and now, she demands of Neva. Neva is at a loss for words. Fine, I'll say it for you. Listen up. Your wife called me an old bat. Neva's husband is left slack-jawed, and understandably so. Suddenly summoned here and told just this line, anyone would be confused. I decided to explain on her behalf. It all started with a question. Why is your mother also living in this house that was the inheritance of my younger brother? Neva had stormed in and shouted, It's ridiculous that you're living here. I want to bring my mom here, so please leave. During the conversation, she looked down on me because I work part-time. She also pushed her unrealistic expectations onto her own child, causing the child to stop attending school. Realizing her child wasn't meeting her expectation, she schemed to kick us out. That's what led to this eviction drama. I explained all of this succinctly. Neva's husband listened and nodded. After hearing everything he said, Neva, first of all, you said you wanted to move, but I didn't know you meant this house. Why didn't you tell me? The idea of kicking everyone out to move in is absurd. And as a social studies teacher, I have to say, his tone hardened. Old age is a testament to knowledge and experience. It's unacceptable to belittle that with disrespectful words. He continued, How many people have you sacrificed and looked down upon to maintain your own pride?
You have looked down on my sister-in-law who's a part-timer while boasting about your own job. Our daughter is so stressed out she can't even go to middle school anymore. Our house is a mess because you don't do any housework. But I thought it was my responsibility since I chose to marry you. That ends today. You have been too full of yourself.
Finally, he deeply apologized to us.
As a husband, it's my last role to apologize on behalf of my wife. I'm sorry, and thank you for telling us about our daughter.
I heard Neva sobbing in the background. My mom then said to Neva, "The clothes you are wearing now, they're from Gymboree, right? I used to sue for Gymboree. I never knew Mom worked for a major apparel brand like Gymboree. I found out for the first time too. The clothes she said were specially made were actually made by Mom. No wonder the clothes Mom made were always so durable and beautiful." In the end, Neva and brother-in-law got divorced. Brother-in-law took custody of their 2 kids. After taking custody, he moved and Neva left her middle school teaching job, now uncomfortable in the small community where her false facade had been peeled away. As for me, I continue to live a joyful life every day with my energetic mom and my cheeky 2 daughters. Mom, what are you up to now? I'm making a bitter melon pasta. Stop, please. Thank you, Mom. You will always be a hero to me and my daughter.